Hello guys, the time has come for the next video, and again this video will be part of the method chapter. But before I really start, this video is going to be all about parameters. Before I start, I just once again want to show you that it is absolutely recommended to check out here the subscripts of each episode, because here are things written that I didn't really mention on video, because most of the videos are like one take, and I try to keep them as short as possible just to introduce the concept. Much of the explanation behind the concepts is done here in the subscript, especially as the concepts become harder, because my English isn't as good as maybe native English, so I think it will be easier for you to read some things and just to see in practice how it's done and how the logic behind the concept is being applied to the concepts, to the programs, I mean. So I want to reinforce, or I want to update my function with parameters now. And you can just do it, as I said, here in the brackets. And what parameters actually do is allow you to pass in values into a function so the function can work with it. So what we can do is, at first, or the best example I think when we add on this example or build up on this example, is maybe a custom color. So what we could do is just pass in a console color again as first type, and then the value. And the value we just have to give a name, because I will call it color, because the value comes from in here. Okay, now we have color in this scope. We will talk about what scopes are later. Okay, or we could say, instead of setting this equal to red, we could just set it equal to color, and then pass in console color dot red. So I think for error it makes quite sense to just have red, but I think also that it is a good example here. What you can do is have one method that has different parameters. For example, you could also have the exact same function with the exact same name, and don't pass in anything here, and just set it equal to console color dot red. And we call that function overload or method overloading, because we have multiple methods for, I think, just one is the way to put it. So we could, in theory, say here write console color dot green, and if we want to write our normal or standard error, we can just say write error. And if we build and run by hitting F5 on the keyboard or pressing the green arrow here, we see that it is indeed working. So the next thing that we want to do is pass in a string to print out. Okay. So I hope that you can now pause the video and do some thinking on your own. I will wait some seconds and then I will solve it. So it isn't really important what method you chose, or if you made a new one. What you can do is just say here, and separate them by comma, just say here that you have a string and message. So you have a type string in your method, and you reference this value or this variable by MSG, and then you just say here, okay, MSG, without the quotation marks, and then you can say okay, for example. So once again, I recommend you to see the subscript, because everything is neatly written down there. But I hope for now that the new concepts are something that you can work around or work with. One thing I have to add again is that if you overload a method, they have to differ from parameters, and they cannot so the only difference between them cannot be the return type. Okay, so if you have one static void write error and one static string write error, it's not going to work. You have to, yes, it has to be different at least by one parameter, and then you can also change this. So if you would do something like this and just give in or give out as int, and we will talk about this in the next video, you will see that it doesn't work because the program already has a defined member that has a name write error. Okay, what members are, we will talk about that once we come to the section about object-oriented programming with classes. But until now, I hope that this video will help you, and once again thank you for watching, and make sure to check out the subscript. But I think soon I will publish a video about how to properly work with this website and the videos. So thank you all for watching, and see you then.